are basically 2 in the evening. Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes. In the morning, it's conservative show called Morning Joe, and then it's like just straight news during the day. And CNN, I don't know what the fucking deal with them is.
CNN has gone fucking insane this last election cycle. They've just become like...
They're just boring as fuck. They have no originality.
The other day on CNN, I was at Carl's Jr. and I saw on the news, they were like, Trump eats chicken with a fork. And I was like, what the fuck? Get off the television. Like,
all right, I do have a problem with the fact that Trump eats his steaks well done with ketchup. That is a
little bit weird, yeah. But he's probably worried about like catching some disease or something. Apparently he's a little bit
OCD about catching the or sympathy disease.
Sympathy disease.
Or the caring about other people disease.
I think he cares about other people. I do. I think that I didn't vote for Trump, but I didn't vote actually for any presidential candidates this last election cycle. But I think that he does care about things, but he's also like
a dumbass.
No, I think he's intelligent. I think that the game he's like, by very nature of the fact that the game he's playing, like I think he's actually very intelligent. That doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with what he's doing, right?
Yeah, 2 days ago he did an interview with either the AP or Reuters, and he was saying, he said, I don't know why the Civil War couldn't be settled. He said Andrew Jackson was a great man, and all what he saw during the Civil War, he just couldnn't stand. This is a paraphrase. He was like he was just so upset with the Civil War, and he could have fixed it. And Andrew Jackson died over 25 years before the Civil War started.
So here's the thing about Trump. Everything that he says is geared towards, like everything he says publicly is entirely geared towards him trying to manage his like public perception, and he's exceedingly good at it. And he speaks on a 4th grade level so that he can be easily understood by as many people as possible. It's a strategic choice.
It is, but it's embarrassing.
He's definitely an intelligent guy, but thus far, I haven't seen that come into action. Like he's very smart, but he hasn't been able to outmaneuver.
He's smart at ripping people off.
He hasn't been able to outmaneuver the forces that are trying to like prevent him from doing any of the stuff he wants to do, which is making me concerned because it's like, yeah, he's smart, but he's not smart enough to actually get anything done either.
He goes golfing like every fucking weekend.
Yeah, but every time he goes golfing, it's a diplomatic encounter, right? He doesn't just like go golfing on his own.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. It's like kind of,
At $3 million a pop. He says they cry conservatism. They say we want to save money for the government. Yet he spends $3 million every weekend. And before the election, he's like I would never go golfing. I own. He goes. I have tons of things, and I love to golf. And I would never see Turnberry. I would never go to Doral. I own Doral. I would never leave the White House. Who would leave the White House? I just want to work my ass off for the American people. And he leaves the White House every fucking weekend.
Well, we'll actually see
more times than President Obama did in his entire first term.
Here's the thing that I see about Trump's presidency. He's going to not be able to really get anything done except for executive orders. So we'll only tell how good of a president Trump really was.
Can't get any legislation through. No.
This is what I'm saying. So far, we will only be able to judge him based on executive orders, and those things, like how that plays out in the long, we have to wait and see if it ends up being good things or bad things, right?
And they're all reviewable by the courts.
Sure.
And everything he's done has been done in haste, and that's why his executive orders have been shut down. They don't.
A couple have, yeah.
He had all of the important ones. All the ones that are significant, not not the insignificant ones, like reviewing, all the national monuments and.
Right. Well, part of the reason for that is that the Democrats know that the blood in the water is there's blood in the water for their party, right? If they don't regain seats in 2 years, or well, it's less than 2 years now. If they don't regain seats, the progressives are going to basically cannibalize all of their political infrastructure. So they are basically trying to torpedo everything and make his presidency as ineffectual as possible, because that allows them to get more votes. This is their strategy, right? It's the only thing they have right now. So they're going to be obstructionist to everything. So what this means, though, is that anything that Trump was doing that could have been good never gets to be actually tested out either. So basically, like, it's a self-reinforcing
cycle. The Democrats did it, or the Republicans did it to Obama. They filibustered almost everything.
Sure, but you got to put things in perspective. It is more extreme now and the reason why is because the Democrats basically won't exist if they don't gain seats back in 2 years, right?
The Republicans are both parties are fractured right now.
But the Republicans at least have, control of the government, right?
Exactly. They can't get anything done. They have the House. They have the Senate.
But even though they had the control of the government, they couldn't fucking do anything with healthcare. That was such a fucking disaster, honestly.
They couldn't even bring it. They couldn't even bring it to a vote.
Well, you know what it was?
Coming down to a vote.
It was also just a terrible.
Hour, and then 30 minutes later, they were like, "Yeah, we're pulling it."
Well, the thing is, they couldn't get other Republicans on board because, in general, it was just a terrible bill. It was just awful. They didn't have good communication because they talked about it all this time as like political capital, right? How that was like they're going to repeal and replace Obamacare, right? But they had all that time to plan and come up with something, and they didn't spend any time actually planning. Obviously,
they had 8 years to come up with something.
And that was a huge, a lot of people then realized they were like, shit, even like Trump supporters that were like, well, we like Trump, but like, obviously things are not going to be that easy, right? Like,
well, he's a fucking buffoon. I honestly, as much as I hate Pence, and as much as like when he was in Congress, he tried to he sponsored a bill that would take away funding from AIDS treatment, not AIDS research, but AIDS treatment, and put it into gay conversion therapy.
So yeah, I
hate Pence, I would rather have him because I would feel safer knowing that he knows how to work the government.
I don't know. I think that I'm still hoping that because Trump is kind of just like an oddball in this, that he can do some stuff that would actually be effectual, right? And I'm not too worried because there's so many stakeholders that are putting checks and balances against like anything he could do that would be too dangerous, right? So I'm still optimistic about
his own party.
I'm optimistic about some good stuff.
I don't wish any president to fail. Because that means the country fails. But
well, which president has been successful in your mind?
Eisenhower was a great president.
Well, you got to go that far back, huh?
Well, kind of, yeah. You have to
Doesn't
go
that
back.
Say something?
We have to go back far enough that we can't remember all the little details, just like the history footnotes, and then suddenly they all become palpable, right? Like,
we need another Eisenhower.
One thing that Trump kind of had
with a corrupt system than a any particular person. It's just a massive corrupt system.
It's like the bureaucracy kind of prohibits effectual leadership, even if there was good strong leadership, right?
The thing that gets to me is that most of the people that voted for Trump are the ones that are going to suffer the most under his policies.
Well, maybe. We'll see, right? That's all a matter of wait and see, right? It's hard to predict how policies will actually affect it.
If they take away the Medicaid expansion, West Virginia, Kentucky, all of these states that even Mike Pence did Medicaid expansion in Indiana.
Well, here's the thing. If they had passed if they had passed effectual healthcare reform, then maybe they could have gotten away with cutting Medicare and Medicaid, but they didn't, so now they can't, right?
Yeah.
Things like that, though. Things like that, saying that people are going to benefit just because the government signs this check and it goes to medical providers. It doesn't mean that people are going to get such a great improvement in their healthcare.
In the United States is that healthcare is so expensive that a lot of people without Medicare and Medicaid would basically just be dead, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
you're talking about he gave the example of an expansion.
All right. I think the problem is insurance companies. They're a go-between, and the reason that healthcare is so expensive is because healthcare providers have to charge 3 times as much than they're actually worth to get the amount that they're worth, and what that does is filter down to self-payers who don't have insurance, so they have to pay the full amount that is being billed to the insurance companies. If we got rid of insurance companies, all they're doing is making money off of denying people services.
Well, this is where Obamacare fucked up, right? They wanted to make sure that all the stakeholders got their fair shake, but what that meant is that they included the insurance companies. If they had done healthcare reform and not included the the insurance companies in like the factor of like who's going to lose out on like market share or whatever, they would have done a much better job.
I truly believe that we should have Medicare for everyone. It's like $140 a month. You have to pay for it, and they say it's going broke, and they say Social Security is going broke. But the fact of the matter is that payroll taxes like FICA and OASDI that we all pay in our paychecks. People who make up to $117,000 pay payroll taxes on all their money. Over $117,000, people don't pay payroll taxes at all. So a billionaire, someone who makes $1 billion, only pays into Medicare and Social Security up to $117,000. So the remaining whatever's left, 990 million, whatever 100 is minus 17. My brain's fucked up right now. They don't pay payroll taxes on. If they pay payroll taxes on all their money, like the middle class and poor people do, then Social Security and Medicare will be solvent for fucking probably forever.
So, and the thing I just linked, if you go down to number 3,
that's not true.
There is
what happens?
A good podcast on this subject.
What happens when you get these? Because I live in the UK, obviously, and we've got the NHS. It's a blank check. You think, it's just going to cost this, but it's not. It's going to go up and up and up, and especially with the people who are pushing for the expansion and to the expansion of treatments on that service, they start, like now, you get people going out and campaigning. They're complaining about it being underfunded, but they're not. As soon as you say, well, okay, let's stop the transgender reassignment surgeries and breast enlargement surgeries, all these electives, that are not medically necessary. They go, oh no, we've got to pay for those. So there's no real thinking that like just giving it more money is going to solve a problem. I'm not sure about that.
Well, no, throwing money at a problem is not the way to solve a problem. I agree with that, but it is a component.
Effectual incentive chain for reasonable use of funds, which is difficult to create, especially in a government bureaucracy environment. It takes a lot, it would take a lot of care and public supervision, there'd have to be accountable people within government that, because a lot of the people that actually deal with the logistics of all this kind of stuff aren't elected officials, right? So there is no public, real public accountability most of the time.
It's got to be, if you want healthcare, it's got to be a state-by-state thing. That's what occurs to me about you guys in the US. You can't do it federally. That's just a bureaucratic
I agree.
Cancer.
I agree. They should do block grants to the states and allow the states to build up their own bureaucratic methods because well, this is what I'm saying though, because the states then will be compartmentalized, right? And then states can compare and they can be like, look at what they're doing in that state. It's being really effectual. And then the people could then try and, push for that change in their state.
I don't know what the answer is. All I know is what we have now is not working and we need to do something. I don't know.
Is there a point in time?
I'm not an economist. I'm not, I don't pretend to be, but I do know that that people who make $1 billion should if someone who makes $30,000 has to pay payroll taxes on all their money, I think someone who makes $1 billion should have to pay payroll taxes on all their money.
Is there a point in time in history when healthcare was good enough? Like the president thing that I just asked you.
Well, before insurance companies took over, it was affordable.
That's true.
When was that? I don't know about history.
Like in the 50s, 60s. My grandmother talked about, and other people of that age talked about, when they were sick, they would go to the doctor and they would pay a reasonable fee. And when insurance companies took over, Nixon tried to mandate coverage through your employer, and he argued for subsidies for people who couldn't afford it. But he resigned before he could get that done. But that was like the genesis or the advent of the HMO insurance company, and they are so bureaucratic and they waste so much money that they're just a middleman basically, and they drive the cost of healthcare up. And they don't pay providers what they're worth, and so providers end up having to bill way more than the service is worth in order to get what the service is worth, and that just filters down to self-payers. They end up paying more because the price of healthcare has gone up, and because insurance companies refuse to pay what providers are deserving of. That's one problem. That's one aspect of it, and there are many aspects of it which I don't know because I'm not an expert on it. But that is one component of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like that podcast I linked you. You have to trust basically the sources that he provides, but he goes into looking into the actual how much Americans pay for healthcare versus how good it is, and compared to the other comparable countries, so mostly European, Scandinavian kind of countries, similar population, they say that we pay more than all of them, and our healthcare is worse than all of them.
Yeah.
So things are remarkably inefficient at the moment, and I think a large deal of it has to do with how insurance companies are basically, at this point, they have so much leverage in their own right as a collective entity that they don't operate under normal market forces. And it would be true under a free market that wasn't an oligarchy, right? There's actual competition, it would drive prices down. But because they operate as a as an oligarchy in a way, they, within their discipline, right? I'm not saying within the whole United States, right? Just for medicine, they're able to basically throw their weight around and prevent meaningful.
The problem is that they have an obligation to their shareholders before they have an obligation to the people that they're providing services to.
It's a kink in the incentive chain. It doesn't incentivize health; it incentivizes profits.
Yeah,
and
profit should not have anything to do with healthcare, in my opinion.
I mean, obviously, you can't just go into
except for the actual provider of the healthcare.
Sure,
because they're doing a service for someone, and you need to get paid for services.
I mean, I'd definitely be down to talk about this more, but I need to go on a walk. I'm getting antsy. I've been at home all day.
I am too. I'm going to go outside and get some fresh air and smoke about 15 cigarettes and drinking a Diet Coke. So
yeah, it's time for a midnight walk.
all right, guys. Good night.
See ya.
Time to get mugged. See you later.
No, I'm 6'4". I'm fine.
Because height is the sole determiner of whether you're going to win a fight.
Just let him go. Let him get mugged.
He's going to learn the hard way. So how's the conversation been tonight? It's always surprises me when I get up and you guys are still at it.
It's been cheeky. It's been
All the diseases.
all the diseases.
Cheeky is a disease. Yeah, I don't think we can actually have a decent conversation about politics. I don't think anyone can. Unless there's a bunch of fake shit going on and it's all fake, then that's about as accurate as you can get.
Who's the activist Blanky who doesn't like bombs?
I like big bombs and I cannot lie. Do you...
Well, I refreshed, so I'm missing chunks of the chat, mofo. He'll be back. Okay, that's probably immature. Look at them.
Yeah.
I don't know, someone's being obnoxious in the chat. I didn't ban them though.
Oh my god! I watched Eric's freestyle,
I haven't seen
and it was nail biting. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's gonna crash.
ENTPs don't crash. They just they don't. It's like as drivers, they're never wrong.
Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, like ENTPs probably less likely to crash than other types, but probably the most likely to make you think that they're gonna crash. Like seriously, I don't know how, but somehow Eric managed to drive me, various places while, only looking at the road 50% of the time. And sometimes like looking away from the road for a span of fucking 15 seconds.
Dude, that's because I don't care about addressing your problem.
Not a bit. Oh, he's just sitting there bitching about how Trump is bombing Syria. Sorry, I gave up all my bombs. I haven't had not one bomb in years.
I doubt that Trump is bombing Syria. That's probably the CIA deep state.
Okay, well, I would love to stop paying taxes, but I don't want to go to jail.
Well, you. So maybe it's you that's it's you that's bombing Syria. You cunt, Blanky, you little bastard.
Blanky, do you pay taxes?
The Blanky is probably a CIA agent here to spread misinformation. Like we're probably witnessing an actual agent from the Memetic Warfare Unit.
I'm 18, so I don't pay taxes. God damn it, Blanky, you are too fucking stupid to vote.
I mean, apart from the people that they wind up and get to do this shit, that kind of shit, of their own volition. You got to imagine it's only going to cost them probably 10, 12 grand here anyway.
I want to look
to hire somebody.
Well,
and a lot of it's self-funding anyway.
You are. Right in the eyeballs, Blanky. I want you to look at me and know that I think you're so fucking stupid that I don't even have words for it, but I thought you should see my face when I tell it to you. You pay taxes, motherfucker.
Well, pay implies that there's any kind of element.
Do you stand anything, or do you just have really strong ideals?
I guess you can't hear me.
Bitching about the taxes. He said bombing people, but I don't pay taxes.
I didn't file taxes, did I? Well, that doesn't mean you didn't pay. It means you didn't get a return, dildo.
Paying taxes, I don't know. When people say that, it implies that there's some element of choice there, and there's no force.
There's really not.
But I like my military.
But
so
hey,
I'll continue to pay.
This kid doesn't realize that he's been paying taxes. He's got the moral high ground to have real strong opinions.
Who said, I like my military, I'll continue to pay, as if they have any choice. As soon as I said that.
Call me a fucking social justice warrior.
I'm gonna pay my taxes. That's gonna help the government do the thing I like. I'm gonna help them out because I'm a golly kind of gush guy. I got choice in it. They're not forcing me.
That almost gave me some sort of mental disorder. Don't ever do that again.
I think that saved this whole experience with this particularly retarded Blanky.
I like to pay my taxes.
Are you entertained, Taylor?
I am.
You got this one off.
That Blanky?
Whoever that other mouth is running through the mouth.
Well, one's being sarcastic, the other's being sarcastic. Oh, now Blanky's laughing. Is that fucking Demon Windu?
Taylor, they're not all Demon Windu. Unfortunately, you can't encapsulate all this.
When I
Taylor,
see that much Ken, when there is this much stupidity and this much arrogance, and they're mixed together in such extreme doses, it's normally fucking Demon Windu.
it is possible. However, I'm just trying to say that I don't want you to create a boogeyman out of
And
people.
this person also is not using proper sentence structure, punctualization, or any capitals.
I understand. It can, in fact, be Demon Windu.
It could be Demon Windu.
I just want to remind you of the unfortunate reality that you can't encapsulate all your stupid into one person.
Will you stop telling me shit that's not relevant? I'm telling you
It
that
is relevant.
Oh my fucking god! All right,
Taylor,
I'll let your
Taylor, just because you respond like a valley girl.
Your NI is really doing something, so go ahead. Demon Windu is some douchebag who's just about as smart as this douchebag. It's a username that whatever. Okay, Then you're not Demon Windu. I don't care.
It's a blankie.
Blinky's
It-
gonna have rights.
God, it's a dumb blankie.
He's throwing more high now about bombing.
No, he's kind of being quiet now because
You know,
He realized he
where was
doesn't-
he when the
he doesn't understand how taxes work.
where was he when Shahir or whatever was fucking dropping sarin gas on him?
Well, just don't even start him on that because he understands how he feels about certain things, I'm sure, but he doesn't understand the mechanics of it.
I like the fact that somebody uses "Do you pay taxes?" as some sort of inferred argument, and then when it gets thrown back on, and they're like, "I don't even pay taxes because I'm not old enough yet." Oh wow!
I'm 18. I didn't file.
15 fucking years old.
Yeah, no shit. And I've been buying stuff since before that.
How do you know it's my money I was using? Like,
What the
come on,
fuck?
dude.
It doesn't matter. Do you consume anything? Does your mommy and daddy make money? Do they pay taxes? Do you grow all your own food on a fucking farm and are you completely self-sufficient? You're on the internet, so I'm going to guess no. Kind of hard to have internet when you're just by yourself.
Yawn.
Yeah, I know.
Is he giving up yet?
It's just gotten boring. He's not putting up a good fight.
Let's put up a good fucking stupid fight.
You can't. You have to.
I mean, I've seen some pretty stupid people put up some pretty good fights.
I mean,
I mean, this guy's a real lady. He's a real lady. Sure, we can mix both together in that category.
Rain is probably a dude, so you can lay off with that shit.
Oh, not this one in particular, just in general. They keep things
Every now,
they keep things fresh.
yeah, that's true. Mostly they just sit there and watch, but sometimes you get a good one. Sometimes you get a shitty one.
This one isn't very impressive.
What was the basis of his argument to begin with?
Oh, I don't know. I just looked at the chat and he was sitting there going, "America needs to stop bombing things. America needs to stop bombing things."
Fuck you.
Are there any other blankies out there?
If we've been bombing people all this time, we wouldn't be bombing so hard now. Slowly exterminating if they're doing it all at once.
I mean, I think that we should send a guy to Bunker Buster, just write it this blankie right here.
What's it like noon over there? British guy?
British guy, it's 8:20 in the morning.
Good morning,
Where are you?
United States of America.
Goddamn United States of America. It's got to be early there, hasn't it? Depends on which side you're on.
I'm on the best side.
So, I don't know which one that is.
Your ignorance of world locales astounds me.
Well, my friend is from America. She's in Florida, and I don't know if she would. I don't know if she would pick us. She hates New York, and I don't think she would say that California was any good. So, is the best side the middle?
No. It's the west side. The best side is the west side. It rhymes. It's easy to remember.
I should have known. It rhymes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all know facts rhyme. So,
Indeed.
yeah, well, it is pretty hick. That's what she'd tell you.
And what part of England do you reside in?
The best side.
The south side.
No, dummy. That doesn't rhyme. Of course, it's the west side.
The best side, the west side. Oh.
Yeah, same here. Just because it's, another part of the world doesn't mean that the rule of rhyme doesn't apply. I'm in the Northwest. A fashionable, cultural Northwest. Home of the Beatles and Oasis and other pop bands.
Manchester?
Near there, yeah.
Are you in a band?
No, not yet. Because here, being in a band has been nationalised. It will happen, but you've got to wait in a queue, behind other people.
Also, you don't know how to play any instruments, and you can't find any drummer.
No, that's not true.
What do you play?
I can play the piano a little bit.
Plays the cock pretty well.
I can strum a guitar, and I can play the talk.
He can play the talk, and he can walk the dog, and he can blow the nose like it's nobody's business.
I'm pretty good at blowing my nose. I've had a lot of practice at that. I can also play the tummy.
So my brain decided to free associate and accidentally come up with a new fetish.
Kestrels?
Go ahead.
No, you talk about blowing your nose. That I just envisioned some scenario where you're like, "Yeah, blow your boogers down my dick hole."
Oh shit!
Yeah, I know you didn't want that, but there you go. You can have that now.
Oh, snot.
Good morning.
The moment I wake up, before
And I blow snot down your germ's eye.
Bill Nye the Whittle guy.
What a prick that guy is.
Yeah. That's right. You zoom in on that bird.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have accuracy.
Your picture makes me reminiscent of another dude named Waits. He's
Tom Waits.
I don't know. His profile pic on here is a bird, and it just says, "I will shit in your goddamn mouth."
Okay. Well, my Kestrel isn't nearly that.
Vulgar.
What? Yeah.
Your Kestrel isn't nearly that vile.
I was going to say Maine, but I was thinking of vulgar. You know, that Bill Nye show looks like a pile of shit. They were doing the gender bullshit on it. It's just absurd. And there's some guy as well on it, some Asian guy coming out with some white people shouldn't do yoga shit. You know, I don't want to call them jokes because he said them as if they were jokes. You know, and like somebody can phrase it as if it's a joke, but it's not funny. You can see the audience, right? And you can see that the audience is not laughing, but you can hear the canned laughter. It's hilarious.
Yeah. My friend linked me to one of those videos on YouTube, and I didn't watch it because I got 1 second in and then quickly paused it because I realized that the dislike bar, I've never seen this before in my life, but it was like 20,000 dislikes to like 100 likes. Awesome. I was like, holy shit, if it's got that many, I don't want this in my brain.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was a dude I like watching one of his videos. It's called The Needle Drop. He does like album reviews on YouTube, and it's like he had like 3 comments on that video, like, and they were all just like, "What the fuck? My eyes are bleeding."
The Ghostbusters trailer got a lot of downvotes. I don't know how much that was.
It probably got better than that fucking video.
I don't know. It got like. It's supposed to have had the worst ratio, but I think they just come out with things like that to promote it.
It was like fucking 5% favor, like 95% dislike. I was like, holy shit. It's like Leah.
Yeah, this has got
like R. Lee Ermey walking in, like, holy Jesus, what is that? What the fuck is that?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. You can say what you were saying.
No, it's just the Ghostbusters thing got 1 million downvotes and nearly 300,000 upvotes, so it's not the same. Still good.
Who are you gonna call?
Nobody.
Teen Titans. Ba-da-da-da-da.
Hey, they're doing a TV show of that now. That's in a live action one, I think.
Oh.
Let's tell ghost stories.
Yeah,
one time where I was in a haunted house and then I got molested by a ghost.
I'll bite your head off.
Susanna, why you gotta make it violent? I had a beautiful encounter with someone from the other side. I just pictured in my head that it was Patrick Swayze from the movie Ghost.
Touching your butt.
Yeah, in actuality, it's probably just like the ghost of like some dude who's like really kind of grimy in real life.
Or it's just some gay guy.
Right.
Technically, someone from the other side could mean either. Or it could have been a Sith, you know.
Hey, do we have a fresh blankie? Are you fresh blankie or are you the old one? Are you crusty or new? Oh.
Alright, I'm a bounce. See ya.
See you again.
Yeah.
See you, Ken.
Your guys' sleep cycles really sucks. I had to say that out loud just to know how bad the grammar and the molestation of language was. Your guys' sleep cycles are really bad.
Actually, you're the freak that's up before 8 a.m. What the fuck is that?
I am. I'm a freak. Oh no. Oh God, why am I up in the morning? Fuck my life.
Do you work?
Yeah, I've got my own business.
So you can make your own hours.
No, I have to use the hours that come in the day, and then I run my business.
What kind of business?
I don't have my my power. Someone keeps taking away the power from me.
If our sleep cycles were normal, you'd have no one to talk to in here. And wouldn't that be boring? I don't ever sleep. And then there was one. Yeah, he's all about yeah. He's a paranoid dude. He just wants to come in here and make smart ass remarks about everyone. And he's too insecure about himself to say anything of substance. He's just such a smart ass. Seriously, who are you, Blanky? Yes, you're Blanky. I don't have to tell Blankies how many hours I sleep. I sleep as many as I sleep. I don't know how many I'm gonna sleep until I wake up in the morning. This is how I talk. It's hard for me. The accent is fading. I need to have it refreshed in my ears. It's fading fast since he's left. Yeah, he didn't hang around long enough for me to pick it up. It was like, hey, I'm from Manchester. You Americans are stupid. Ha ha ha. I'd say he is likely to be some kind of SP. What do you think, oh learned Blanky, with your degree on the wall there with a blank for the name? Blank is hereby granted this honorary degree of blankiness. No, you don't need to know him much to know that he's an SP. Is he an SJ? No. Is he an NF? No. Is he an NT? Maybe. But he's an SP. Could be a smart ass NTE, NTP or something. He could be NTP. He's got any, he's got enough any to be a little shit snot smart ass. My pick is not an octopus. It's a one-eyed monster bug. He, TE, huh? He goes after emotional triggers. It's not logical TI argument. It's provocative. SPs do that shit. ENTPs do that shit. You know, trying to fight with blankies about paying taxes and all that shit. He likes to fight. He likes to make blankies squirm and suffer. He's a sadist. He's a blankie torturing sadist. Yeah, he's funny. SPs are funny. They're just fucking hilarious. He's quick on his feet. Who's quick on their feet? ENTPs are quick on their feet. ESTPs too, and ESTPs are the kind that like to be assholes for their pleasure. Five, of course. No shit, I'm chill. What the fuck else is a thinker gonna be but chill? They sit there with their chin on their hand, chilling and thinking about shit. Well, help me figure it out then. 9, huh? Let me check this shit out. I'm a little lost and confused about my typing at the moment due to certain anomalies in the typography sphere. Enneagram 9. The chiller. The Enneagram 9 is the chillest motherfucker on the gram. The peacemaker, eh? Well, that is certainly a possibility. I don't generally like conflict. Unless I'm instigating it out of boredom. But even then, it's not too malicious. Fives. Yeah, this blankie knows a thing or two. I could be a 9. I'm happy-go-lucky. Well, the test said I'm a 5. I am optimistic. Tests are shit. Only a true typographer can type someone with lethal accuracy, such as you, Blanky. Your TI is strong. You might be an INTJ. Since you're Blanky, that's the default assumption. Well, duh, in my name it says what I am. Oh, sorry about that comment. 5s are the opposite of optimistic. Well, I mean, we all are just gonna die and the planet is gonna go dark and cold and the universe is all a big, meaningless, suffering, cruel joke. But, while we're here, we might as well chill, right? Well, can I be both? Ding, 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 what? Am I 5 or 9? You're the one interviewing me. Ask the right questions, Blanky. I am happy-go-lucky, yes. Alright, fine, I'm a 9. I'm a 9 until I die a horrifying death very, very soon. And then my meaningless existence is over. I feel good about being a 9. 9s are the best. 5s are such a drag. Like, lighten up, fucking 5s. God, I can't believe I hung out at the 5 table all this time. What a bunch of rigid, boring thinkers. 9s are fun. 9s are the best. Everyone loves a 9. Let's cuddle. Alright, that's for sure me. Hi, I'm a 9. Hi, my name is Rain, and I am a 9. Thank you, Blanky.